Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Ketevan, and today I'm going to do a little Doomstopper Doom check-in. So it's the middle of the month. I'm behind as expected, but I just wanted to check in and kind of tell you all how it's going and how I'm enjoying it, and so on and so forth. So you'll have to excuse all the background noise. There's protests and construction all happening today, and it hasn't stopped all day, so I can't do anything about it. But so we'll first get to the books that I did read. So the first one I read was the Book Thief by Markus Zusak, I think is how you say his name. Super did not like this one. What should I say about it? It's a YA book, so I was expecting like kind of a more simple story, you know, but it is, I can't understand why people love this book so much. It's a perfectly nice book, but it's very long and very boring, and nothing's exciting in it. Like, I thought that the book thief, like, that might mean something. She's just a girl who steals books. That's it. Maybe that's a spoiler, sorry. But yeah, that's basically it. And she's a German girl living in Germany during World War II. And so yeah, lots of, you know, war-related bad things happen. It doesn't really stand out as much different than any other Nazi era World War II book for me. I read lots of those books as a kid. I think we all did, like required reading to read, you know, like Number the Stars and, you know, those kinds of books. It doesn't seem different in any way to those books. So like maybe that's the kind of thing that's meaningful for children because they've never experienced those kinds of stories. Cool. I was really just so bored. I almost DNF'd it like about a third of the way through, but I was like convinced that there would be a twist with the book thief aspect, like her stealing books. Nope, just boring. Sorry. So then I've actually sort of added a book to my list because I had to read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier for a book club. I actually had to read a lot of books for book club this month. That's why I've been so behind. But this one is like just under 500 pages. So I said to myself, you know what? I'm counting it. I don't care. So I'm counting this as one of my Doomstopper Dooms. And I absolutely love this one. Obviously, it's a classic. I'd never read it before, so I was really happy to discuss it with the group. How much should I say in this video? Probably not too much because a lot of it's spoilery, but it had such rich discussion in our group. We really just spoke about the book almost the whole time because there was that much to dig into, and there were differing opinions, and we talked about all sorts of different dynamics and like, you know, is Rebecca the villain or the victim? All sorts of stuff like that. I really, really loved it. I can't wait to reread it actually. So yeah, Rebecca. The last book that I finished is The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. I was supposed to buddy read this with Anne. And we even set aside, like, you know, we'll do it part by part. There's 7 parts, and she just like flew ahead of me because it was so good. And I agree, it is a very good book. It's a very adventurous story. You're drawn into what's happening. The main reason I was hesitating so much about this book is because if you don't know, the main relationship of this book is between a girl and a priest who meets her when he's, I mean, there's a 20-year age difference, so I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but basically like when she's 9 years old, he meets her as like a full adult, and he, not purposefully, but definitely does groom her, and they end up having a sexual relationship. And that's sort of like the only thing I knew about this book going in. So I knew that like a lot of people had criticisms of this book because of that, but I really didn't know anything else. And so I don't want to say too much about it because Anne and I are gonna be doing like a collab video where we discuss it. But yeah, I won't say too much more because I'll leave that for my discussion with Anne. But yeah, so did enjoy it though. Glad I read it. And now we have the books that I'm currently reading. So the first one, actually I'll do the first one, is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Super American classic. War is absurd. Yes, I knew that. That's why I kind of put it off for so long. But it is actually really funny. Like, it's, you know, it's more male humor, I would say. I'm thinking, I'm only like maybe a fifth of the way through, so maybe it's gonna all come together, but so far it kind of seems just like random vignettes linked together, and I'm sure it'll come together in some more meaningful way, but so far it's just a bunch of like really funny stories, or sad depending on how you look at it, about war. The protagonist, what is his name? Yossarian? Yeah, Yossarian is an air pilot, and he basically wants to stop being an air pilot because that's the most dangerous job in war, because you get shot down a lot. And our phrase catch-22, I believe, comes from this book. It's what they call a hilariously sinister bureaucratic rule. A man is considered insane if he is willingly continuing to fly dangerous combat missions, but if he makes a formal request to be removed from duty, he is proven sane and therefore ineligible to be relieved. So basically, kind of, no matter what you do, you get screwed over, and that's kind of the whole point of war in general, and I'm sure the rest of this book. So enjoying it, gonna continue reading that this week. And then is Americanah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Again, so long on my to-be-read list. Like I actually started it once, but then kind of put it down and didn't pick it up again for a long time. So I'm really, really enjoying this. It's super fun. I've read a lot of her other works, but none of her novels. So this is my first novel by Adichie, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'll leave it at that. And last but not least of the things I'm currently reading, The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. This one I was actually the most hesitant about, and I'm loving it. I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy that I'm enjoying it, because I really thought it might be another slog, and I was ready to DNF it like at the drop of a hat based on The Book Thief. So I'm really, really excited that this is it the opposite of what I was expecting? I don't know, but it's definitely better than I was expecting. So basically the premise is that the story is told through a mother and 4 daughters of a, I think he's Baptist preacher. Yeah, an evangelical Baptist preacher who takes a mission in the Congo in the 60s to evangelize Congolese people. Very important task. And so it's basically just the story of them like colonizing Congo as missionaries, essentially. And that's kind of all I knew about it. And that is it. Like, that is the story. But what really makes me enjoy it is that they're aware that this is messed up. They're aware that they don't belong there. They're aware that they're not really doing much good. They're aware that there's really no point to this. And they're aware that their father's a bit of a megalomaniac. So it's very self-aware, like it's very reflective on the harm that they're causing, and it's also much more politically aware. I'll just add that in. Like, I'm actually really confused by this book because it's like super popular, everyone's read it, everyone loves it, and it talks frequently about Patrice Lumumba, which is like he's a very like famous, well, he's not famous, but he should be a more famous politician, a Congolese politician who was elected to be, I believe, the president or prime minister of the Congo when it first gained independence from Belgium. And then, you know, certain countries decided to assassinate him because they didn't like what he was going to be doing for the Congo, i.e. not letting neoliberalist policies dictate how Western countries could extract wealth from Congo. So he's sort of like infamous, I would say, in like development and political circles, especially focused on African studies. But I think the larger population doesn't know his name. And this book talks about him a lot and references him a lot. And I mean, I don't know if maybe people think he's a fictional character, or I'm just confused because I feel like nobody knows who he is. And if you've read this book, and I don't know. So I'm really interested in kind of seeing how the rest of the story plays out. It's definitely like, I think allegorical. So it's going to follow, like, we already know that it ends in disaster, and sort of the family is punished for doing, you know, for coming to the Congo and trying to do all these things. So it's just a matter of like how they're punished is what we're finding out. The other thing that I'm really loving is it's so funny. Like, I know that sounds weird because you'd think, oh, this subject matter, this setting, not funny, but it is absolutely hilarious. So the mother, first of all, she's reflecting from the far future, I believe, and she has some sassy things to say about her, even herself, like her choices she made when she was younger and things like that. But then the four daughters, oh my goodness, the oldest one, Rachel, she definitely has like a I'm better than you attitude, and is like above a lot of chores, and so the other girls, you know, just do their thing, but she's also like, she excels at a lot of things as well. And she kind of just has like a ugh, I don't care attitude about everything that they're doing. And then the next two girls are twins, and one of them is sort of, I kind of see her as the main character, even though there's no real reason why I should see her as the main character, but I do. I believe her name's Rachel. No, oldest one's Rachel, the second one's Leah. And she has some sassy things to say. Oh, she's so funny. And then her twin sister, Ada, was probably, I'm guessing, had cerebral palsy or something. They don't really say what it is, but basically something during the birth affected her, and the whole like right side of her body kind of doesn't work very well, and she's basically disabled to the point where, you know, when she was younger, people thought she was intellectually disabled as well. So she doesn't speak much, but this is like her inner monologue, and it's very biting. It's very astute, very oh, she's got some things to say, and it's very, very funny to hear. They're not, it's not the thing, it's not jokes. There's not jokes in it. It's just like their observations are so keen and so on the nose that you're just like, wow. And then the last daughter, Anna May, she is 5 years old. So you can just imagine like this very adult scenario, a 5-year-old narrating it. It's hilarious. It's truly hilarious. She is like so adorable, and like, of course, a little naive, but also not at the same time. But she also realizes and can see kind of like the fakeness behind the missionaries, and like each character in the book kind of presents themselves a certain way, and she can very easily see that maybe they're not who they say they are. So anyway, so that's the Poisonwood Bible. I'll obviously have way more to say about this when I finish it, but so far I'm really, really enjoying it. Really happy. I think I'm gonna zip through this one because it's so good. I'm already like a third of the way through without even like trying. So, and that leaves me, so okay, that was how many books? 1, 2, 3 I've already read, 3 I'm currently reading, and then that leaves 4 more options. So I've officially let go of Monte Cristo. I was meant to finish the Count of Monte Cristo for part of this, and it's just, I haven't picked it up once this whole month, so it's just clearly not happening this month. I do want to finish it before the end of the year, but not for Doomstopper Doom. But the 4 that I have sort of like tentatively picked out as my next 4, or my final 4, is Carpentaria, Alexis, Wright, which I've talked about all of these in my my intro video, my announcement video, so you can go check out that video for more descriptions. But this is an Aboriginal story, so I thought it would pair nicely with the Thornbirds. And then, big one, The Robber Bride by Margaret Atwood. That would be good for spooky season. And The Invisible, not The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. The Invisible Man is a different book. And then Made in America by Bryson, just to have something light and fluffy and chill. So I hope I can get to all these. I'll probably at least start all of them in October. I probably won't finish them, but then I'm gonna really dive into nonfiction in November, because I feel like I've been not reading nonfiction, just sort of save it up for November a little bit. But we'll see how well I do. I'm not forcing myself to like read these books at all costs. So it's actually funny is that I checked my tracker. I've actually read half of the Doomstopper Doom page count. I just haven't read the books because I've read so many other books this month, either because I have them for book club. I have 3 other book clubs besides Rebecca this month, and also I just finished a couple books early in the month that I had like started in September. So I've read a lot this month, but I haven't actually, you know, fully read my Doomstopper Doom, but that's okay. I'm not pushing myself. It's okay if I fail. Failure is acceptable. That's all right. My goal is to basically just read these books because I mean, they're on my bookshelf for a reason. I want to read them. And I thought this would be a fun opportunity to kind of structure it in a long book sort of way. And what is nice is I've been, reading a lot of long books in a row, and normally that's not what I do. And so that's really cool. I think this, if anything, this whole reading challenge might have cured me of my, I'll call it a pseudo fear of long books, because I don't really have a real fear. I'm not like, oh, it's long, I can't read it, but I have a more like, oh, it's long, what if it's not worth it? And I mean, they usually are, right? Book thief aside, you know, I didn't enjoy that one, but I mean, the rest of them I am enjoying. So it's not like there's a larger chance that a long book will be not worth my time. It's just more of an investment. But the thing is, the investment is usually worth it. So I think I'll be incorporating longer books into my reading schedule, reading life in the future a lot more naturally because of this challenge. So that's kind of fun to notice already, because if I recall correctly, let me look this up. So actually I just checked my tracker, and aside from the Doomstopper Doom books I read this month, I've only read one other 500+ page book this whole year. I read a lot of like 400 page books, but very few cross that 500 page line, literally one. So I think, you know, I'll be doing that more often, just because it's not, I don't know, I just not bothered by it anymore, because maybe I'm reading it out of myself. I don't know. But yeah, that's one benefit of this that I didn't really even see coming. I thought if anything, I would maybe hate reading long books after this because it'd be like too much. And don't get me wrong, the month's still not over, so maybe that will happen in the end. But so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really thinking to myself, long books are worth it, actually. And I know, you know, Anne waxes poetic all the time about how long books are amazing. And maybe I'll join her in those thoughts one day. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you are participating in Doomstopper Doom, let me know how it's going. If you've been reading any long books, especially if you've like overlapped with Victober, I know a lot of people have been doing that. And tell me any of your thoughts on long books in general, because I don't know, I still feel like I'm thinking about long books as like a subject, as a concept, and it's been fun. So anyway, thanks again, and see you next time. Bye.